That's an interesting question. I'm not sure. Does it have a power over people? I think people definitely connect to the lyrics in my songs. I mean, I've always loved singing and people have always told me I have a nice voice, you know, from a kid. But I guess it's all subjective, isn't it? I'm sure some people think my voice is annoying. Sometimes I hear my songs when I'm out and I'm like, oh, turn it off. I guess when I joined my band in Mexico and we started playing out, I mean, I guess when they asked me to join the band, I was like happy and I was like, oh, okay, like, let's give it a go, you know? I'd never really taken music very seriously before that. I'd long let go of the dream of like doing music as a kid, you know? I thought it was something very far-fetched. But yeah, I guess when I started playing in Mexico with the band and seeing, you know, the audience's like reception to me and stuff, I guess that was good for my confidence, yeah. My father is like more of an actor, but also a big lover of music, classical music especially, and musicals. So I was grown up encouraged to express myself. Woke up today and the sun was shining. You know, he used to say to me, run and be free, express yourself. He would take me to the park and stand me on tree stumps and make me sing Oliver Twist songs and stuff, you know. So yeah, he encouraged me a lot to sing. And he used to tell me, if you don't use it, you're gonna lose it. You know, he was very happy when I started singing again. My whole family was. Searching for balance. 100%. Yeah. I needed music. I needed a creative outlet. The creative energy and force within me was being directed into destruction for quite some years, you know. I think it's the same force, so you just choose where you're gonna send it. Yeah, I was channeling it into self-destruction for many years until I came to the revelation that actually, yeah, I need music. I need to sing, even, you know, not necessarily professionally, but I was at a point where I wouldn't even sing in the shower. I wouldn't sing. I was very like, no singing. I even stopped listening to music for a long time. Yeah, I went pretty in my head with it, you know. My whole life transformed. When I started writing and I started singing again, I became a lot more soft and gentle and just could embrace that sensitive side of me again rather than trying to like harden myself, you know. I try not to have too much expectation, you know. I'm very, very grateful to just be expressing myself. I think when you've lived through such like dark period, I feel happy and blessed to have come out of that and to just be doing what I love. You know, I'm not an overly ambitious person. I never have been, even, you know, at school or anything like that. I really believe that in just going with the flow and everything that's meant for you will be yours in the right time, you know. So yeah, it's not carefree. Like, I do care about things. I care about a lot of things. I don't necessarily have the same perception of success as other people, you know. Why is it so rotten? My people must. Well, it was quite an extensive process, I have to say. Especially when it came to detuning the piano, you know, we had to open it up and use tape, and it was crazy. But yeah, Man Made was a real political statement at a time where I felt it was quite necessary. And I wanted to kind of just solidify the idea that I was kind of not a part of this industry, you know, which is why, you know, one of the taglines was like, out of tune with the industry. Like, I wanted to make something that just sat in its own world, and yeah, it was a really fun process. I think it was, had to go against everything at the time, you know. It was such a mad time that I wanted to make something that really kind of penetrated through the Babylon confusion. 100%. Music is like a pivotal part of my healing process. Yeah, it's a vital part for me. It's my method of transmutation. It's my method of, it's alchemy for me, making music. It really is. It's saved me in many ways. I take it quite seriously, you know. I don't take myself too seriously, but I take music and lyrics quite seriously. I take the those feelings, those intense and overwhelming sometimes feelings, and manage to like somehow, it takes a lot of grace, I guess, turn it into something beautiful, you know. Even if it's not sweet, like, you know, there's a lot of like kind of ragey tunes on the album. I think it's innate, you know. I mean, my mom's from Trinidad, although I've never been. I don't know, like also just growing up in London, I mean, you know, it's just part of the package. Yeah, I think it's innate. I've always loved, you know, like the bass lines, you know, grow up going to Notting Hill Carnival every year from a young child, you know, it's just part of the culture. It's, yeah, I would say it's innate. I feel like it's just our sound, you know, the Seng Seng family, my band. You know, even the drummer and the bassist, Tag and Jager, their alias is Slick and Bobby, you know, they have their own dub band, so like, dub is, yeah, it's a part of the sound just naturally, even from the beginning, you know. This album was very much a personal endeavor, you know, it was a personal voyage. It was an introspective project. It came at a time of great transition in my life and as a woman, and it's a good reflection of that. It's a journey inside, you know, exploring the self-political. For this album, it was a lot more hands-on. I played bass in a couple of the tracks. I played bass in TARDIS. I played some of the synths in My Neck, and I think it was a lot more hands-on. Like I was able to kind of like somewhat like conduct the vibe a little bit more. Whereas maybe in the past I would leave the sonics to the Sonic Men, and I would just focus on the lyrics and the singing. I felt like this period of time I was a lot more kind of involved. Like I'm like, oh, I'm in this mood, let's start with this sound, or let's, you know, a little bit more, had more of a vision. And I think moving forward it will be more like that. I enjoy to be involved from the inception of the sound now, of the beats, yeah. There are no insecure monsters. I love London. I mean, it's where I did my first shows, well, with my own music. Obviously in Mexico, I was singing covers and stuff. You know? And you know, it's a hard place. It's cool, and there's a strong community there if you find your community, but it's gritty, you know, and you're so spoiled for choice in London that it can be a scary place to launch yourself as an artist, which is why I was very grateful to get the 2 years in Mexico before, kind of getting to know my voice, building my stage presence. So by the time it came to London, doing my first shows, I was a little bit more like self-assured, but still it's a scary place to like open up your heart, you know. My songs are very vulnerable, but you know, I was received well, give thanks. It was, yeah. I love London, man. It's full of opportunities there, and there's something for everyone there. And I think being from there and growing up there, it forces and it encourages and cultivates this kind of open-mindedness, you know, and diversity. I mean, it's so diverse. You're lucky to be like exposed to so many different cultures and sounds that it just is natural that comes out through the music for London artists, you know. I mean, I grew up on a lot of different music as well, so that helps. Babylon, that's me, for the here, for the now. Let the spirit run wild, let the spirit run wild.